Hi everyone, so today I have some new items to share with you from Diamond Press. These are new items they brought to HSN. They are now available a little early for the craft day that is May 3rd. So they did send these items free of charge from my review, and of course all opinions are my own. And the links I'll have there are for HSN. Those would be affiliate links, which means I'll make a small commission if you purchase items to those links. So I do have a few things to share with you because I think they'll be fun to mix and match together. And then, you know, in the next videos, I'll probably be using the inks that are here. So I just want to show you a few different things. So let's just get started. So with this one, this is the Diamond Press word block and sentiment stamps with dies. So let me open this up. And like I said, these are now available there on HSN a little early. The craft day is May 3rd. And I'll continue putting out different videos for the items coming up. But they have released quite a few there on HSN already. And I believe, it depends on when you're watching this, Diamond Press is doing also a preview on Friday. So it depends when you're watching this. Maybe that's already happened. But this is the block sentiment set. So really cool. So what this one is a stamp set with dies. So I don't know if you can see, I mean, look how fine this is. You are the best, and it has a die for it. So you can see like thank you, and those are separate words there. And then, you know, for everything, maybe you want to pop that on top or on the side or however you like for being there. Get a little artsy with it. We have happy and birthday. Again, let's celebrate. Hip hip hooray. It's your day. That is so cool. They're so fine. Just trying to see if we have wishing you the best. Again, with thinking of you, of course you can mix and match these however you want, but this is what they're pairing up here. Hope you're doing well during this time. I mean, look at that. Forever, sweet friend, a whole lot, and then like love you. And it looks like the stamps for the larger words are a little bit like distressed looking. I don't know if you can see that. No, it's hard to see. There you go. Oh my goodness. So let's check this out. Oh, wow. Okay, so let me give you a couple measurements just so you kind of have a better idea of, you know, the size of these. Like the thank on this one is about 3 inches and by, yeah, just over an inch. Yeah, about an inch tall. So then the U and then all these other, again, those fine little wordings that we are then going to cut with our dies. And then we have, again, the chunkier words here. I'm so sorry if it's kind of hard to see them. There you go. But just a really nice size. Look at that. And then the marquee cutting folder. Of course, these thin metal dies will go through any machine that cuts thin metal dies. And I do mention that because I do get that question quite often. And look at all of these dies. Let's see. Let's pop this open. So much fun to get to work with some Diamond Press items today. Look at that. So again, you know, you have your nice die, and then all the dies for those thin words. And now I'll show you, of course, the aperture trick that we've been doing for decades now to cut out something like this a little more perfectly. So we will get to that when we get to that. But I just want to show you those first, of course. I'll put that to the side. And I thought these would pair real nice with these summertime embossing folders because, you know, you have a nice embossed background, a little sentiment on top, and you're good to go. So that's what I'm going to do with that. And I might do some inking with the inks. So that's kind of what I had in mind. So let's see about this summertime. Oh, how cute. You know, I love palm leaf anything. So we have this, these are smaller, like A2 size, you know. You can also do that on a square card. That'd be really cute. Just a little square piece of paper. But look how cute the little palms all around there. Cute. So it has a little frame. Oh my gosh. So cute, the little waves and like just really like doodle kind of just adorable. Oh my gosh, the little shells, sunglasses, popsicles. That is so cute. Oh, okay, this one's more like waves, swirls. You know, this would be great to pop behind anything. Just a really cool style there. Look at the little shells. Oh, that's so sweet. I love it. And I love the way it's just put together in a way that's just more organic, you know, where the shell cuts off there. Like that. And then these are, so like I said, these are A2 size, so generally what you would put in there is like a piece of paper that's like 4 by 5 1/4. It's a little bit smaller, you know, the matting. Let me show you here. So even though it's at 4, almost 4 1/4, it does have an edge that isn't going to do anything, so you want like a 4 by 5 1/4 piece of paper, I would say. And then these guys, let me just measure it. I'm measuring the embossed area, the area that will emboss, is 8.5 by over 3.5. Wow, that's really nice. So on this one, whatever it is that you like to do for slimline, you got it here. Look at this beautiful hibiscus and the leaves. Really pretty. I love palms. Oh, little dots. Really nice style to have. Look at that. Love that texture. Oh, look at this. The little suns, the little smiles. All up and down that. Adorable. Oh my gosh. And there's like little umbrellas. Like your little beach umbrella. That is so cute. Very unique. Totally different. So those are the embossing folders. So we'll play with those a little bit today. And then we have some ink. So let's open this up. I'm going to open these up and I'll be right back because, you know, so they're in a nice box like this. And we'll open them up. So I will be right back. So we have 2 new ink sets here, the Jeweled Summer ink pads and the Pastel Paradise ink pads, as you can see here. So let's open this up. Love the packaging, so pretty. I'm just gonna cut that there. So cute. They always come with their own little dauber, little foam dauber head, and then the handle here. And we will definitely check these out. So what I'll probably do is open each one up. Again, this is the jeweled. And what I like to do is make myself like a little swatch and I just keep it in here. So what I'm going to do is cut some paper just so we can have a quick reference as far as the colors are, what they are. And so what I'm going to do is open them up. So as you can see, they are packaged, closed up really nicely. So I'm just going to take a moment and I'll be right back with like a piece of paper. And all I'm going to do is, actually, you know what? I just have an A2 card here that'll work because there's 6 colors. So what I'll do is on this side, I'll do these guys. And on the other side, I'll do the others. And these are water-based inks. They work really well with alcohol ink markers. If you want a distressed look, you can definitely wet them. Oh, look at that. And, oh, that's really juicy. I probably didn't need to dab it so much. That's like super, super juicy. But I'm going to take a moment to go through them all and just dauber them just like that. And I will be right back. Goodness, you guys, these are really, really juicy. And there's also, you know me, I'm just kind of picking at the plastic with a tool. But I mean, look at that. I'm not going to press much harder than that. And I just want to see how juicy that is. So you can still see there's like a little liquid there. So really nicely pigmented. Real quick, I've been scratching at the bottom of these guys, but there are little bits here that you can just tear at to open them up. But of course I just stab the bottom of it, but there you go. Okay, so you don't have to look for anything. It does have a little easy open strip there. And oh my goodness. Yeah. Okay. So I will swatch out this other set and I'll be right back. I just can't get over how pigmented these are. Look at this. This is such a light color. I just dabbed it once and it just comes out so nicely. What a pretty color. Oh, you can kind of see it. These are right up my alley here, like that coral kind of pinky peachy colorway I like. But if I keep dabbing, obviously it's going to get darker because there's plenty of ink on there just from that one inking up. But anyhow, okay, I'll continue working. Okay, last one. And you guys are probably wondering if these are new colors. I actually don't know that right now, but what I'm going to do is I'll email Diamond Press and ask about that, and I'll have that information in the description box. Okay, so when you check the links or if you just want to open the description box for more info, I'll put there. But just looking at them and having worked with, you know, the other sets like this one here, they don't look like colors I've worked with before. Usually the green and the other sets were really dark green and like a lime green. Like this is the natural ink pads, and hopefully you can kind of see, or neutral or natural. But you see how this one's much darker than like the other one. This one's more like a slate kind of green. These colors don't look anything like these other colors here, or even the other pastel set from before. So my inclination is that these are not the same colors. These are different, but I will definitely get that info for you. Oh, how pretty is that? So pretty. And I don't know if you noticed the blue in the other one was much darker, like a different shade of blue, obviously. Okay, so there they are. And if you want a fuller review of these guys, of the inks themselves, I'll link that in the description box, because when they first came out with their inks, I did a whole video, try them out with water, try them out with like different ways, stamping and all that kind of stuff. So definitely I'll link that in the description box. And this is Pastel Paradise. Love all these pinks in here. I mean, look at, oh, so pretty. And then this is the Jeweled Summer. I mean, look how bright these pop. Just so, so pretty. And then like you can see, this one is more of like what I would say, like a grass green, where this one has a little more like turquoise vibe to it. The undertone, I don't know how to explain that, but as you can see, they Just so pretty. So what I'm going to do is grab some paper. What I think I'm going to do is ink some paper up, and then we'll run it through an embossing folder and maybe do a little distressing, because of course I want to use this embossing folder right here. Sorry, yeah, so this is the embossing folder I'll be using, because you know I love me some palm leaves and fronds and all that pretty stuff. So let me grab a piece of paper and we will do a little distressing, a little inking, a little something, and then we'll go from there. So all I do is cut down a piece of paper. It's actually pearlescent paper, so we'll see how that goes. I was going to go with just white paper, but why not? So I have this piece cut down to like 3 3/8 by 8 3/8, so just smaller than 8 1/2 by 3 1/2. And I think I'm going to take some green color. So I'm going to take the Jeweled Summer Green and also the one from the Pastel Paradise and just add some color. I don't really, you know, I'm not looking for anything perfect, or just going to add some color on here. So I'm going to start in the center with the lighter one from the Pastel set. And just, again, I'm just looking for a whisper of color that however it ends up is fine. So just that lighter towards the center. And then I'll keep this here just in case I want to add more. And then I'm going to take the darker green around the edges. Again, since this is water-based, you can also add a little water spritz and then take some color away. Basically like distress ink. I think that's it. I'm gonna add a little more of this lighter one in here. And since I want to go ahead and emboss with this, what I'm going to do is right now, while it's still a little bit wet because we just added so much ink, I think I'm just going to run it right through. So a lot of times I'll spritz my paper to emboss it, just depending on the type of paper. But since this one's a little bit wet already, take that to the side, go wash that. So I'll go wash that off, and we're going to take this guy. And with Diamond Press, what you see here is going to be pushing up into this teal area. So I'm going to place my paper facing up, and you can look in there. You can also look down here and see kind of where your paper placement is. And I'll just run that through. And this paper is, like I said, pearlescent paper. It's kind of thick, not super thick, you know, just depending. If I need to add like a shim, I'll do that, but we'll see what the impression looks like. So that's actually pretty good. Maybe I'll go a little more. So what I'm going to do is grab a piece of scrap paper. I'll be right back. So I just have a thin piece of very thin, like 60-pound paper, cardstock, and I'm just going to add that as a shim to help me get a little bit more impression on this particular piece of paper. And I can feel like that's already quite a bit more as it goes through. A little more resistance. And there we go. So with this one, again, it depends on the paper, if it's thick, if it's thin, if it's, you know, whatever, you might want to add a shim. There's just a piece of paper, just like I did, just add it on top. I usually don't go much thicker than like a nice, very thin weight paper, but whatever it is that you need for your particular project will be great. And I was looking for something like that. And then what I'm going to do is also take a nail buffing block that I use for crafting and just take a little bit of the color off just to make it pop a little more. So I'm just going to go around and take a little bit of the color off, and I don't know if you can see the white is coming through a little more. So I'll do that until my heart is content, and I'll be right back. Okay, so got that going. Took off a little bit of that. Probably don't want to use your sleeve, but there we go. So to put this on a slimline card, I just cut down a piece of paper to 8.5 by 7, and on the 7-inch side, we're going to score it at 3.5, of course. That's the size I consider a standard slimline, whatever it is you like. Of course, you can do that. And I'm just going to fold this over. And I'm just going to go ahead and glue this down. So that is our background inked and made extra special with a little bit of that distressing and everything. So I'm just going to glue that down, and I'll be right back. Okay, guys. So we have our beautiful background there. I'll put that to the side. And what I'm going to do is, actually I'll put it over here. I have a piece of vellum here, and I'm going to stamp on this vellum, and I'm going to heat emboss it. So I think I'm going to do thank you, because I love having lots of thank you cards ready to go. So I have thank and you, and again, it's kind of like a, I don't know if you can see right on there that it's a distressed look, as you can see in the stamp itself. So let's grab these guys. And so I'm going to use a pigment ink for this because we want it to be really sticky so we can have the embossing powder stick to it. And so I'm just going to take this. And I'm going to use gold because I like the look of gold and green with tropical kind of stuff. So let's just go with that. And I'm going to plop that one there and put this one here. You don't have to stamp them at the same time. I'm just doing that. I'm going to pick those up. Again, just make sure those are nice and flat there. And we'll get this stamped up. This is the first time using this one, so we'll see how inky it is. And just some nice even pressure. Again, these are acrylic stamps. Oh wow, nice and juicy. Okay, so because this is a pigment ink and it's, you know, I inked it up so well and all that, you do see some of the distressing, but not too much. But if we were just stamping it with like a regular ink, you might see that a little more. But you can kind of see where it's like a little distressed. Okay, so I'm going to wash that off in just a minute here. And I need a scrap piece of paper or something. I'm going to pour some embossing powder on this. And then just heat emboss it, heat set it. Now we're going to cut these out. I didn't take the time to use like an embossing buddy or anything like that, but I'm just going to heat set it with my heat tool. And again, all you do is just hit it, and once it changes, like the texture, move on. So I'll put it on here. It's going to be loud, but just to show you kind of when I move on. So let's get this going. As soon as you see that change, just move on. Okay, and I always let it set up for a little bit before I go to die cut, so I will let that set up. Looking pretty good. Okay, I'm gonna let this set up because it is kind of like plastic, you know, it takes a couple seconds to dry, so I'll be right back. Well, that's setting up. It's pretty much done there. I'm going to stamp on the same paper I used earlier, like that pearlescent paper, just the other little part of our sentiment. So I'm going to get this down here. Ooh. I washed off everything that was on here, and I can see there's a little drop of water over here, but that's okay. All right, let's put that back here. And I think I'm going to do sweet friend, so it'll say thank you, sweet friend. And again, I'm just going to put that somewhere where I know my die is going to be pretty close to the words, but I'll still pop it like right there. And I'm just going to take some black ink from the neutral set. And again, I'm not going to push too hard, just a little soft, even pressure there. Ooh, so nice. So delicate. I don't know if you can even see it on the camera. It's so thin. I'm going to do it one more time just to get a little darker. This is pearlescent paper and the ink is water-based, so I just want to make sure I get a nice dark impression. I'm going to let that dry, and then we're going to come back and just die cut everything. So I'll put that to the side for right now. We have our thank you, and with that one you can see pretty much right down in there. I mean, you can see all the way it just hugs that lettering, but if you want to be a little more exact, what we can do is take a scrap of paper like this, and let me trim this down just a few little pieces of paper so I can show you what I want to do instead of this big guy. Okay. I'll be right back. So what we're going to do is just take like this, the thank. And I just took a little scrap piece of paper. If you want to drop shadow your paper, then definitely pick a piece that's going to coordinate with your project. Then you can use the piece that comes out of here, and it'll make more sense in just a minute. So we're going to stick that down. So that's all I'm doing, just hinging a piece of paper, you know, our die to a scrap piece of paper. And I'll just grab the folder that came with our kit, but of course the folders are usable hundreds and hundreds of times. But let's, hopefully I didn't shake the camera too badly. And we pop this out. So if you, like I said, if you want to drop shadow, you know, you can use a coordinating color and then you have this piece. But for now, I'm putting that to the side. I don't need that. What I'm going for is to keep this together, and all I do is hinge this down. Guys, for the rough edit, I just made a little oopsie and I don't want to waste your time. I went ahead and stuck this on my letters, and you do not want to do that, especially with your embossing on vellum, because it can remove this. Ask me how I know. All right, so what we're doing is we just want to make a little aperture, like I was saying there. So we're going to move this down. And you're gonna look through here, and when you do emboss, especially on things like vellum, sometimes your paper might warp a little bit, so you know, just choose the best you can. So basically you're seeing through this piece of paper and seeing where this die is gonna cut and what, you know, where you want it to cut. So let's say like in here, that looks pretty good. And so I'm gonna put this back down. I'm going to flip this just a little bit away so we don't get any of the stickiness on our lettering, and I'm gonna stick down as well as I can the die to whatever little extra bit of paper you might have. So yeah, sorry guys, I just had to redo that right quick because I pulled some of our lettering off of my vellum, so I just redid it. So I'm gonna run this through now and just show you what that looks like. So I'm not sure where I edited last time, but it's very important, you know, for something like this. This one's so thin and sweet that we want to cut that nicely. So that's what this is good for, that little trick. And there it is. Let me get this out of here. And we have our thank cut super nicely and like just right on, right? So same thing with this little guy. I'm gonna find my my lettering for it. Maybe, let's see. So this is the one that says sweet friend. I was just kind of looking at the front, you know, like the beginning, what it might look like in the end. So it looked like an S, like the way it looks like, and that was it. So again, I'll run this through, hinge it, look through it, and cut out my little letters nice and perfect, my little words. I'll be right back. Okay guys, so real quick, as far as drop shadow, what I mean by that is, like, let's say we cut this out in black and then you had this behind this and you glued them together and you'd have your little shadow or whatever color you like. That's what a drop shadow is. But anyway, let's put that to the side, and I have my little letters on vellum there, and then we have our little sweet friend, again super delicate. Pop that on there. So I'm just going to glue these down wherever I like. And what's nice with vellum, usually we're trying to hide where we put the glue, but since we have our lettering to help us out, what I'm going to do is just put some glue behind those gold areas. So I'm just going to take a little glue here and there, again carefully, of course. Don't put too much. And let's see, put it like in here, and I'm just looking left to right to see if it's about center. And then, I'm sorry, I know it's kind of washed out. Let me get a little bit closer, sometimes that helps. And then once that one's stuck down, I'll do the same thing with you, put a little glue behind it, and then I'll be right back to glue down the sweet friend, okay? And our little sweet friend, all I'm gonna do is put a little glue on that, and then just pop it in between those two. If you want to put some dimensionals, that's wonderful too. And I'm just going to pop this in here, and I'll hold that down and I'll be right back. Okay guys, so we had some fun with the new inks, the embossing folders. You'll see more of the embossing folders in the videos as they come out, because I would like to pair them up with some of the other items that Diamond Press has just brought. I have everything linked that's already available in the description box, and I'm just going to finish this off, and I think what I'm going to do is take like some fresh pops of like pink, like these rhinestones here, and then go ahead and add some more of that green back in, like this lighter green color. It's a little bit smaller. I like to mix and match the size of the stones, and yes, I should pop these back in. Hold on, let me get that one and this one. You guys caught me as I just placed them back in the folder in the binder without putting them back in the little pouch. Bad habit. All right, let's see here. And then, you know, since they're clear, you can kind of obviously place it wherever you like, and you can see right through it. Add a little something. I'll put that one there, and maybe this one up here, and go from there. So thanks for watching, guys. Thank you so much, Diamond Press, for sending these items for a review. I will again have them linked there in the description box for you guys, and I'll see you guys at the next one. Bye now.